Oh, okay. The man decided to get gangster and go to the hood on us. Put the hat to the back and get serious. Stephen A. Smith got gangster. He came after Shaq. He came after the critics. Mainly me. But I get it. You see, when you say something that resonates at home, no matter the money, the star power, the fame, the prestige, the awards, the degrees, the accolades, once it hits your heart, you can't control it. You feel you got to say something. Why? Because you didn't hit on some truth. When I hit Charlemagne with some truth, what did he do? He didn't have to speak about what I said, but he chose to because it was bothering him because I hit on a truth. When I wasn't disrespecting Stephen A. Smith, I was telling the truth. He's the type of guy who Googles his name to see what people are saying about him online, on Facebook. And when it says Karceno addresses Stephen A. Smith, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to listen. And you go, oh, he's too busy for that. He's a very busy man. He's so busy, he goes on Facebook on his off day, Sunday, spend 30 minutes rambling about everything in the world. Why? Because he knows Karceno Wallace was right. He'll get that when he plays this back. Now, I told y'all Max Kellerman wasn't making the grade. And the problems with the show. First take. Once I put this public, others in social media took what I said, they agreed, and they ran with it. But see, what they do that I don't do is they go to Stephen A. Smith on Facebook and start telling him stuff that I said. So he wants to go hear it for himself. No problem with it. But this man throws Shaq under the bus. What y'all want me to be? Y'all want me to be like Shaq? Coach, where's the play? Then he's, my boy Shaq, be going in the hall. I'm going to be right there. I'm like, you just dissed this man. Did you even hear yourself? You just dissed this man in the same video. Then talking about my boy. Finna go see my boy. He's going in the Hall of Fame with Allen Iverson, who I'm writing an article on also. But I'm saying now that the show and what they're doing now is they're going to get desperate. Of course, Stephen A. Smith talks about how good he is and like, I'm good. I ain't worried about nothing. I got money, boy. I thought he was going to take the money clip out and just throw it on the table. Like, boom, there it is. I got mine. Look at my garage. Look what I got here. I thought he was going to pull a Floyd Mayweather. He was that into his zone because he knows the time is up. When Skip's show drops, he's trying to diss their show by trying to promote theirs because everybody knows it's up. First take is done. Stick a fork in it, it's done. I'm sorry that I have to be the bearer of bad news, but this is out of desperation. When people are not worried about a show, they don't talk about, I'm not worried about the show. They just don't even care. They don't say, well, I wish Skip and them good luck on their show. I don't really care. We're number one. You don't have to say that. But enough of me talking right now. I'm going to let y'all listen to Screaming A. Smith tell y'all himself, and you tell me, does he sound like a desperate man?
It's so important. I believe it's so important to be able to look at somebody and and rely on knowing that they believe what they believe, that they feel what they tell you they feeling, that they ain't faking it. And I remember sometimes people come and they be, oh, you just saying this, or you just saying that for ratings. He must be desperate. First of all, we number one. That's number one. You ain't desperate when you're number one. Let's be clear. Secondly, and number two, I have a contract. I'm getting paid. And I'm pretty cool for the next few years. So, when you sit up there and say, desperation, who are you talking about? It damn sure ain't me. At some point in time, it's just about being better. Or it's just about being the best that you can be. Some cat Dave Bruce talking about Skip is better. That's your opinion, bro. Go watch him. Kick rocks. Don't give a damn how you feel. I'm telling you where I stand. I'm telling you where I stand. Somebody just sat there and said, I ramble. No, I don't. I'm very, very clear. But it's a debate show. And when you're debating, particularly for a couple of hours as opposed to a half hour, and specifically when you're live instead of on tape delay, guess what? You're going to state what you're going to state. And you're going to make sure that you validate and substantiate it with information and thoughts so people are clear about where you stand. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's going to be me. It's always been me. Think about this. Go back, and Gerald Darby tells me I'm a good guy. Thank you so much, my brother. But go back to articles when I was writing high school for the New York Daily News. Go back to when I was covering colleges for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Go back to when I covered the NBA.
Now, oh, wow. That's just a sample of this man's 24-minute rant about, oh, wow. I mean, so many subjects that I basically just touched on everything. Everything I'm saying is coming true in time. See, people don't understand. People call me about the TV show Power. Like, man, everything you said was going to happen is happening on Power. How did you see all this coming? Because you can see, I can follow the story. I'm like, where else are they going to go? What else are they going to do? This is how it's supposed to be. Max Kellerman is not a good fit on First Take. I told them people why he's not a good fit on First Take. Because it leads to Stephen A. Smith having to pull the entire load and have to drag Max Kellerman into debates where Max is just basically not that guy. He's always been the support guy. So when he has to be a man of original thought and ideas and really believes it and challenge Stephen A., Max Kellerman really agrees with Stephen A. Smith. And even when he disagrees, he kind of agrees. Because he's so used to being the support system. So you're not putting another guy in there who's an alpha. Max is a beta. He can't be an alpha. He doesn't know how to be. Every time he had his own show, Around the Horn, I mean, how do you get fired from that show? I mean, really, you gotta really suck to get fired from a show about writers, sports writers. You couldn't keep that job? He's not a guy that could be the head honcho of something. He is a support guy. So on a debate show, Max Kellerman is useless. You're not going to get the same type of passion behind it like you would Skip, somebody who's been a writer who's been around, but Skip is passionate. He's an idealist. He's someone who believes what he's talking about. You need that guy in there. He's going to infuriate people. Max Kellerman, they just be like, oh, Max is stupid. Everybody care about Max. And they going to move on. And they look at Stephen A. He's trying his best to bring the show. I don't blame him at all. But he's dragging dead weight And the people see it. And just like what you do when you critique everything else, we are critiquing you in your show First Take. And when Skip Show comes along, like I said, when Skip Show shows up, First Take is going to be done. It's going to sink. As long as they have Max Kellerman sitting in that chair, they're doomed. Yes, you're number one now because there's nothing really opposing you. Now that you actually have someone that's willing to compete at that time slot against you, with this type of format show that they have with Shannon Sharp, a debate show with Skip infuriates because he goes against the order of things. Like me. Do I sound like a guy who follows the order of what they feed you on social media? No. My favorite player was not Michael Jordan growing up. My favorite basketball player of all time is Isaiah Thomas. And I sit here in front of you right now and tell you the greatest NBA player to ever touch a basketball is Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III. From the west side of Chicago, Illinois. Period. When he was on the show, I said this is the best First Take show they ever had. And it was. The best show they ever had when Isaiah Thomas was on there. Piston fan then, Piston fan now. I tell y'all the truth about Michael Jordan, or the truth about LeBron James, how they put these guys on the poster board to sell you shoes and merchandising, but they're really not the greatest players. Michael was unbelievable, but he wasn't the best. Same guy, I tell you who I am. I have been the same guy. I'm the most consistent. I don't flip. I stay the same, and I stay the course. So, I talked about this subject enough, and I'm at home now. I need to go wash dishes. How about?